Hello, Facebook fans and YouTube fans of DX Engineering. It is Friday afternoon here in the Eastern time zone of the USA. It's 20 Zulu on June 21st, 2024, and this is the weekend special. Today we have a special guest. It's Don N5DD, and he's going to talk about the Kilo Hotel 8 Tango DXpedition. Hello, Don.
Hello, Tim. How are you doing today?
Good, good. I'm going to bring up the your website and get everybody familiar, but go ahead and tell us what it's all about.
Okay, well, I was looking through the most wanted list and trying to find a good place to go. And, you look at the top of the most wanted list, and there's places like North Korea and Scarborough, which are kind of out of the question. But you start going down a little bit and you get down to about 72. And there's places where you have commercial air flights in and out. You can rent Airbnbs, and yet they're still relatively rare, especially rare for Europe. So zeroed in on American Samoa, and got a few other guys. You got Madison, Robert, and Keith on board with me, and we found an Airbnb that we could rent. It had enough room, enough bedrooms for everybody, enough room to set up antennas, and we're going to bring a couple of Elecraft K3s, a Yaesu FT DX10, a couple of expert amplifiers, a couple of hex beams, some half squares. We're going to set up a half square for 30 and a half square for 40, and then a vertical for 80, and we may try to load it on 160.
Wow. Don, do you see the website now?
Yes, I do.
Okay, great. Well, we are certainly
we appreciate your help sponsoring us and sending us equipment, and you've been a big help.
Well, we are thrilled to be involved, and you've got some really great operators that are going along with you. We've done work with Madison and Robert in the past, and so it's a 5-person team. So it looks pretty good. Are you thinking of adding more, or is that the team?
I think this is a team. Robert's wife is going to come with us, and so there'll be 6, and that's about what that house will hold, I think, comfortably. Okay. So I think we're trying to keep 2 stations on the air most of the time. Should work pretty well.
So, Don, tell us a little bit about the equipment that you're taking out to the DXpedition.
Well, we've got, like I say, 2 K3s that Madison and Robert own, and they've used on a number of trips before. And I've recently bought a Yaesu FT DX10, so we're taking that. And we got 2 expert linears, and testing some of this stuff out. It does work together well. Fortunately, in American Samoa, they have a 120 volt, 60 cycle power. We've got a 220 volt circuit in the house for the electric stove that we're going to hijack for the linears.
Well, that sounds great. Don, have there been other DXpeditions at this QTH before?
Not at this QTH. I mean, there have been other groups going to American Samoa, and I think there's another group that's going to go before us, but they're operating from different locations. This is the first time this location has been used for ham radio.
Well, that's really cool. Hey, have you made contact with any of the American Samoa amateur radio licensees? Anybody on the island that's got a license?
Yeah, one of the issues is there aren't any resident hams on American Samoa. There was in the past, but there's not currently. There are some hams on Samoa, but that's a different island, different country. So we're kind of on our own on American Samoa.
Well, that's really really cool. It's always nice to have a new place that gets amateur radio operations from, and maybe that sets the stage in the future for others. September 2nd through the 16th of this year, so it's coming up pretty fast.
It is. It's coming up closer than you think, closer than it seems. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and are there any contests going on at that time that you and the group will be participating in?
I don't think there's any major contests during that time period. So it's primarily a DX expedition, more so than a contest expedition.
Right. Right. Although the North American Sprint CW contest is during that time period, and it's only 4 hours long. Right. And American Samoa would be a quite a multiplier. So, Don, let's talk about some of the other DXpeditions that you've been on.
Well, it's been a while since I've been on a DXpedition. The first DXpedition I went on was in 1992, I believe, to Montserrat. And it's kind of one of those strange things, I was dating someone who's my wife now, and when you start dating someone, you start talking about, well, if you could do anything you anything in the world, what would you do? And I said, well, I would go on a DXpedition. And she said, well, what's that? And I said, well, you get some radio equipment together and you go to an exotic island. She said, well, that sounds like fun. So we ended up going to Montserrat and operated from there. And I've also been to Turks and Caicos and Belize, a couple places in the Caribbean, Grenada. Operated CQ Worldwide with a group in Grenada in '97. And then the last one I went on was with Madison in 2004. We went to Malta.
Wow!
And we operated the ARRL sideband DX contest in 2004 from Malta.
Wow, that
we had
quite a great trip.
Quite a great trip. It was. We had a good group of guys from the Texas DX Society with us. Some of them are no longer with us, but it was fun.
Well, these DXpeditions are finally starting to gain hold again, after the long drought through COVID. And with the sunspots where they are, you've got to be really excited about, the high bands and how well that's going to work.
This is a perfect timing. I mean, I recently retired a couple of years ago, and then there was COVID. And so COVID's passed. Sunspots are at the peak. So this is a time to go.
Yeah, no, that's really good. Well, Don, I really appreciate you coming on today. Of course, this is field day weekend, so everybody is either out in the field or getting ready to go out into the field, or maybe they're watching this on tape delay as they go through their field day exercise. And of course, Don, I know it's hot where you are, but it's really hot in a lot of places in the country, and we're hoping everybody stays well hydrated here this weekend.
Yeah, that's important for field day. You don't realize how hot it is, but it's hot in Texas. It's humid here. I was out earlier setting some of the hex beams up for testing. The hex beam we're going to take to American Samoa, setting that up for testing with some of the other equipment we're going to use. And it's hot out there.
Yeah, so we gotta be careful. I mean, we really do. Don, thanks for coming on. We will definitely have you on after the DXpedition, so you can tell us how you did, and certainly here at DX Engineering,
I would enjoy that.
Whatever we can do to help, let us know.
Okay, we appreciate your support, Tim. Thank you.
Okay, Don. And everybody watching out there that's in the U.S. and Canada, please be careful on field day this weekend. Get on the air and have some fun, but try to stay hydrated and try to stay cool. And get on and enjoy some of the best conditions that we're going to have for the next 8 or 9 years. This is really super conditions, and field day brings out a lot of activity. Until next week, 73 from DX Engineering.